Hi guys, some of you were having trouble multiplying matrices, so I thought I would try to show it in a different way. So here we have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2. So the question is, can we even do it? And the answer is yes, because these inside dimensions are the same. And so yes, we can do it, and our new matrix will end up being a 2 by 2 because of these right here. Okay, and so what we are going to end up with is a 2 by 2. So I go ahead and come in and write my blanks down. Okay, and I'm going to call this R11 because that's the first row, first column. First row, second column, so R12. And then second row, first column, second row, second column. So our job is to find out what are those four numbers. Okay? And so we're going to go ahead and make a new matrix so that we can fill in the blanks here. Okay? So hopefully that part makes sense. Now I think some of the issue is maybe actually seeing how to multiply. Okay? Now, if we'll take R11, that will remind us to take the first row of the first matrix and the first column of the second matrix to fill in that spot. So I'm going to take this one and this one. And I have to put those together. And so what I was trying to explain in the slideshow before is if you could take 3, -2, right, this row, and if you could come lay it on top of here, if the numbers are on top of each other, we multiply them. Okay, so we have a 3 and a 6. Okay, so this is 3 times 6. And then I have the -2 and the 1. Okay, and I add those together. So I have the 3 times 6 and the -2 times 1. I add those together and that gives me this first element. Okay, and so what would that be? That'd be 18 minus 2, which is 16. Okay, so now I'm ready for the second element. And I do that by taking the first row and the second column. So I still take this 3, -2, okay, but now I'm ready to move it over here to the second column. Okay, and so that 3 goes with the, what was under there? The 5. Okay, plus the -2 goes with the 2. Okay. And so that generates that element. So we have 15 minus 4, which is 11. Okay. Now we do that again with that second row. Okay, and so this is telling me to take, if we're trying to find R21, second row, first column. Okay, so now instead of taking the 3, -2, I'm now taking 1, 4 and laying it on top of those. Okay, so I'm taking 1, 4 and laying it on top of that first row. So I'm going to have 1 times the 6, okay, plus 4 times the 1. Okay. So I get 6 plus 4, which is 10. And then to get that last element, we take the second row, second column. So we take this 1, 4 and we lay it on top of the 5, 2. So we're going to take 1 times 5 and then add that to 4 times 2. And so we get 5 plus 8, which is 13. And so that is our resulting matrix. Okay. So that's why the rows have to match the columns. And that's in the first matrix, the columns have to match the number of rows here so that they can go on top. Okay, so let's try this one. We have a 3 by 3, and then we have 3 rows by 1 column, so we have a 3 by 1. So can we do it? And the answer is yes, because those are the same. And this will generate a 3 row by 1 column matrix. Okay, so this tells us how many rows our new matrix will have. This tells us how many columns. Okay, And so this gets called row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1, row 3, column 1. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what to do now. Okay. So let me find my, okay, so this says to take row 1 and column 1. Okay, so I take that 2, 5, 1 and I put it on top of there. And if you have to, cut out pieces of paper or something, okay, like I did here. If not, just think about laying it on top. Okay, so we have the 2 times the 3 plus 5 times the 1 plus 1 times 5. Okay, so we add those all together, so we get 6 plus 5 is 11 plus 5 is 16 for that first element. Okay. Now this is row, R21, so second row, first column. So if I take the 0, negative 2, 3, so I've just written it as a column, right, making it fall here. So I take the 0 times the 3, okay, plus the 1 times the negative 2, or negative 2 times 1, either one, okay, plus 3 times 5. And we put those together. So we get 0 and a negative 2 is negative 2, and 3 times 5 is 15. So we get 13. Okay. And then that last one is that third row in the first column. So we have 4, 1, 2. So again, I just wrote it as a column so I could lay it on top of that. So now we take 4 times 3 plus 1 times 1 plus 2 times 5. Okay. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 times 1 is 1, plus 2 times 5 is 10. So what is that? 12, 13, 23. Okay. And so this is our resulting matrix. And let's try one more. Okay. So here we have a 2 by 3, because 2 rows and 3 columns, and then 3 rows by 2 columns. We can do it because these match, and these end up giving us a 2 by 2. So 2 rows, 2 columns. So that's how I know how to fill that out. Okay. This is R11, R12, R21, R22. Okay. So we have 4 elements to find. Okay. So again, this gives us a clue. We take the first row, so that's 6, 1, 0. And to find R11, we're going to do it with the 1, negative 1, 0. So can you imagine this spinning and turning on top of that? Okay, so that would be 6 times 1, and the 1 times negative 1, and then 0 times 0. Okay, so that's where you need to be able to get. Okay. Here it is visually again. You have the 6, 1, 0, and it spins on top, and so the 6 and 1 line up, the 1 and negative 1 line up. Okay, and then the 0 and 0 line up. So we get 6, and a negative 1 is 5 plus a 0. Okay. So if you haven't, stop it and try this next one. Okay, first row, second column. So I still take that 6, 1, 0, but now I do it with the 0, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to have 6 times 0 plus 1 times 2 plus 0 times 1. Oops, wrong way, sorry. So we get 0 and 0 and 1 times 2, which is 2. Okay, and then the last 2 elements, use that bottom row, that 2, 1, 4. Okay, so this has to take the second row, first column, so I take the 2, 1, 4 and I lay it on top here, or I have 2 times 1, and then 1 times -1, and 4 times 0. And so that makes 2 minus 1 plus 0, or 1. Okay. And then our last one, we take our second row, second column. So we take 2, 1, 4 and lay it on top. So we get 2 times 0 plus 1 times 2 plus 4 times 1. So that goes to 0, and here we have 2 plus 4, which is 6. Okay, so hopefully that gives you more of a visual. If you're still having trouble, please let me know, and I will do my best to find another way to help you out. Okay, so hope that helps.